So I'm solo today, I don't have a cameraman, and so this little bit I am probably better off doing on this phone rather than on the DJI thing. So yes, just going to pop over to Damian's boat and help him with his go up the mast, and we'll take a look around his boat then as well. The quality of the footage, the sound is probably going to be better, but the quality of the footage might be a bit different. Alright, so I see Hervé is already there, so we'll quickly give him a hand. It just struck me that it's good that Hervé is here because Hervé's English is really good, so we'll have a bit of a translator. Here we go. So, Rustler 36. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va, ouais.
Oui, we're ready to go? Alright, excellent.
Mast.
Alright, so one of the things that Damian has done on his boat that's unusual with the other competitors is, if you can see just inside the furled up head sail is another forestay, but that one is clipped on using a form of a snap shackle. So that is removable. So when it's not in use, it actually gets stowed down near the mast, and that one flies a kind of like a Code Zero, but it's not a Code Zero, and it lets him fly huge head sails without necessarily resorting to spinnaker, and so he can actually hank on a head sail, which I think overlaps 150% from there. And flies a huge upwind sail, and so gets outstanding upwind performance. He gets, by all accounts, 28 degrees off the wind, so that's super interesting and absolutely permissible within the rules. So no issues with that at all. So he's got a really innovative, aggressive sail plan, and then of course his spinnaker pole snaps into that socket on the mast there, and so the spinnaker pole is sets super well, and yeah, super easy to rig up. There's some footage of how that looks when he's under sail on the Golden Globe Web's footage. Another thing that I've spotted on Damian's boat, he's got the option of running two whisker poles simultaneously, two spinnaker poles, but he's also got these externally mounted sail track. So not many other competitors actually have that. There's only a handful that have externally mounted sail tracks. So I'll find out a little bit about those. So one of the issues that plagued Damian's boat in the previous race was issue with the Hydrovane. So he had made some modifications to the standard rudder, and so that was a cause of a problem. So that broke just after leaving port. He came back in and then fixed it and then went out, and I can't remember exactly where it broke again on the but it broke a second time, and that forced him to abandon his race. So it'd be interesting to know a little bit more about how exactly he's prepared for this time around, but that seems to be a bog standard configuration, so we'll find out. But yeah, so this he was doing really well a few days in, came back, fixed it within a week, and then went out again, but I don't know what his plans are or what he's done differently on his Hydrovane this time around. So we'll see. So this was my job. It was basically just to control the line. Damian's up the mast. He climbs up there under his own muscle power. So I guess I was just sort of helping out with about, I don't know, 10 or 15 kilos. But yeah, he's all the way up there. And he's up there with a single line, no B line. So that's a bit sketchy in my opinion, but he knows what he's doing. It'll be interesting to know how he comes down, because it's currently through a clutch, that one there, and I'm not sure, maybe it's just open the clutch and then I'll control it on the winch, on that winch there. But anyway, he's up there just to do some general inspections. So we'll see what the findings are. I think he's just checking for any corrosion, cracks, any degradation, any issues that might be caused during the course of the race. Anyway. And it's drawn a bit of a crowd. That was impressive. He scooted up there like a jackrabbit with a little bit of assistance, came down just through the friction of the winch. And yeah, super impressive, I must say. For a chap of his age, he's in incredibly good shape. And all the guys standing around the dock, all the men want to be him, and all the women want to be with him, that kind of thing. These guys are asking questions. They've encouraged their wives to come on over. The wives are probably thinking, "What? Why is that so interesting? That's not interesting to us." So we've got two comparable boats, obviously, in the Golden Globe race this year. So the first one, of course, is this one, it's a Rustler 36. The other one is Ertan's boat, which is also a Rustler 36, but Ertan's was previously owned by Jean-Luc, who I think was a winner in 2018. So, but that mast is 1.5 meters shorter than this one. So this is the standard mast, the standard height mast that the boat was originally designed with, and then Ertan's boat is 1.5 meters shorter. So that was pretty competitive, but with a higher mast, and of course you can run a bigger sail area, and therefore of course bigger spinnakers, and so undoubtedly it'll be faster. But the conventional wisdom so far has been that in the Southern Ocean, all of that extra moment on the top of the mast and the weight aloft is more of a liability, because you heel a lot more, and you're so heavily reefed in the Southern Ocean that the extra height of the mast doesn't make a difference. So it's really sort of the light wind days going through the tropics that I think this height will benefit. But for the Southern Ocean, it's largely irrelevant. Damian has kindly allowed me to have a look around inside. And it's the most notable thing is that it's incredibly well organized. I presume this is all fresh water, and there's a watertight bulkhead just here with a hatch, which I'd be interested to know whether it's fully watertight or whether it's just a sort of slightly less permeable. But that's super interesting. And sort of all the technical, sail locker, workshop, all that kind of stuff through there, gas locker, so spare gas, spare sails, spare vane, that's all through there. So watertight bulkhead way up front, and then another one here, which would be interesting to know about. That's nice. Things from his children, which is super cool. And then bog standard cooker. Actually, it's just the stove with a cool box, and pilot berth. So it'll be interesting to know whether he sleeps in there. Looks like he does, because all his bedding and stuff is in there, so it'll be interesting to know. And then nav station on the port side. That's pretty cool. So obviously one of the notable things is that there's no heads on display anywhere. So I'm not sure what the plan is for that, whether there's something underneath here or through there, what the arrangement is. But clearly it's a bucket and chuck it type arrangement. Let's see what in there. It's got some books, and it's got, I'm not going to open. It's got you'll probably get miffed if I start opening things. Yeah, spare shoes, electrical tools. There's bosun's chair over there. Loads of cool bags. It should be interesting to actually kind of get a chance to interview him. What else have we got? Cooking equipment. So interesting, he's got a standard gas stove, but I can't see a jet boil anywhere. That's not to say he doesn't have one, but I can't see one. So, yeah, super interesting. That's cool. Check that out. Old cassette player with an FM radio. No doubt those massive D-sized batteries. That's cool. That's straight out of the 80s. the life raft is currently inside. I presume that's going to go outside because that's rules and regulations require that. Notice these containers here are different. We'll find out a little bit about those, what the plan is for those. And I won't open up the bilge. Actually, I will open up the bilge. Nope, can't open that one. I can't open this one. Those are all straps. No, can't get into the bilge at the moment. Have a look in there. So yeah, lovely chart table. This is quite a sturdy configuration. Yeah, I presume it is a Yanmar. So I think these things originally spec'd with 35 horsepower. So that would be interesting to know. Certainly looks a similar size. Oh, there's a rubbish bin here, so for all sorts of rubbish. But so it looks like a 35 horsepower Yanmar, give or take. I can't really get in there to show you. Oh, actually, there we go. That's the Yanmar. Nice tidy engine compartment. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, safety plan. So the anchor goes in the technical locker up front. Grab bag is just adjacent to the mast. Yep. So that's there. Emergency locator transmitter. Yep. Radio, telephone, all the way. All the stuff on the port side here. Some kind of sling on the aft guard. Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's the rescue sling, that was it. Life buoy, yeah, life buoy on there. Life raft will go, the life raft will go in that little area just in front of that white pouch over there. Those are the control lines, they're coming down into that pouch. Those are the control lines for the Hydrovane. He's got a knife, that's interesting, check that out. So he's got a knife attached to the bottom of the tiller. So that's a good idea, to actually have a knife for emergencies, that you don't have to go looking for it and it's always just attached there. That's a good idea. What else have we got? Boarding arrangement. I presume that's the that's just the word for the companionway. I don't know. Fire extinguishers. So fire extinguishers internally mounted. Yeah, internally mounted fire extinguishers. Can't see them at the moment, but yeah, so that's quite handy that there's a safety diagram that shows where everything is. Alright, let's go have a look outside. Right, so what can we see here? So I mentioned already the knife under the tiller, which is a good idea. Nice bright orange handle. That's a really handy idea. I don't know whether these stay on permanently, these spray dodgers on the sides. Whether they stay on permanently when people are sailing. I have to go look at the footage whether that's the case. But generally speaking, the cockpit is already super neat and tidy. I mean, he clearly runs a tight ship. All lines leading back to the cockpit. So what have we got here? They're not labelled. I guess just being a professional he is, he knows what each of them are. Nice big Harken 35. And another one, this one, also not labelled. It's a bunch of clutches. Lines stored in the side. Jib sheets both sides, as you can imagine, but running into those winches. No additional winches on the side, so just the primary winches on the side, and that's it. Is everything okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay
you want to close?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, and then of course this little tidy over here. At the locker, so at the moment it's only got the control lines for the Hydrovane, so that sets the sensitivity. Conventional wisdom, of course, with the Hydrovane is that you get your boat balanced first, so you have to be able to actuate the tiller with just your fingers, and once you've got the boat balanced in that way, that you're going on the course to steer that you want, and you can actuate it that way, and you can operate it just with your fingers, then you set your Hydrovane. So you get it tacking straight, you adjust the control line so that the Hydrovane stands up nice and tall like that, and then you, sorry, Damian's just coming past, and then you set this, so that way you know that it will hold your course to steer. So barring any wind shifts, you will basically just be tracking along that line. So that's Damian and his young family heading off there. They're a very supportive family, obviously. I mean, he's a professional sailor, they know what's involved in that. I had a similar thing growing up. My dad was a military man, so he was off in a war zone for 6 months of the year. And you just sort of accept that that's the way it is. You know, dad's away, and mom is running the ship. And, you know, not that she doesn't run the ship when he's back, but yeah, he's away doing his work. And it must be tough, but, you know, that's the life, right? That's the life you sign up for. Right, so what else can we see? Yeah, of course, we mentioned the hard dodger. So this is really cool. That you can sit in underneath here and be out of the rain and still get outside. So that's pretty cool. But not allowed under the new rules. Going to have to come up with an innovative plan for that. But yeah, this is certainly cool. Being able to see forward from both sides. Being able to check the mast and the sail. From this side you can get quite far outboard and check the trim of the jib. That's pretty cool. So I think it's going to be a bit tricky to interview Damian because A, he's super busy, but he's also spending time with his family, and of course you know, his English isn't great, my French is useless, so yeah, it would have to be with an interpreter, maybe his manager or something. But it would be nice to sort of ask him how he copes with the months at sea, away from his kids and his wife. That would be interesting to know. And then what specific preparations he's done on the boat, and you know, and then also those cute questions, you know, about his favorite wildlife and what music he listens to, and just find out a little bit more about the guy. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll do that in one of the fly on the wall videos. So we'll see if we can get some time with him still and ask him maybe just the odd question like, "Hey, Damian, quickly, what music do you listen to?" And just see how we get on with that. Anyway, so I hope the walk around of the boat has been interesting. That is certainly a very capable sailor, you know, consummate professional. You know, the way he scooted up that mast, he obviously likes the fact that he's still extremely strong for his age, and so he's got a lot of confidence, and that's really handy. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it's coming up for noon. I'm going to take another walk around the dock, and then go back and see if we can maybe head to the beach with Ruben. He was lamenting the fact that this is a working holiday and we're not spending enough time doing family holiday stuff. So we'll maybe head to the beach and see what we can come up with. Bonjour. Anyway, like, follow, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you in the next one. One other thing that I've just spotted that Damian does is he tethers his washboards together. I was just shutting up his boat for him. I'll leave the companionway open. He asked me to leave that open. But the washboards, I'll certainly put those in so people don't assume that they can just come on board. But yeah, so he tethers his washboards together. So yes, that's probably a useful idea.